Day 225. Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Norgon 111, and welcome back to Blueprints, where a couple notes from yesterday. First, I compared the New Clue poster in the bookshop from the old version to the new version, and the only change is 4 months became 14 months, which means that New Clue was actually published in April of '88, which makes more sense because Mary was writing it in the safe house, one presumes, during the middle portion of '87 when it originally thought it was supposed to be coming out. So that does make more sense. We saw an interesting piece of wood that seemed to have letters on it in the end of the unknown tunnel with the 3 puzzle boxes. And the only significant piece of text is the O or the 0 followed by a dot. And I reviewed all of the printed material that I have for even just that bit. And there's only 3 possible places that have an O followed by a dot. Drafting Strategy, Volume 3, page 5. Craig O is someone's name, but it doesn't have the other text below it. In Swimbird, there's a sentence that ends with the word do, which would have an O and then a dot, but doesn't seem to be the right font. And then the final exam questions in Classroom 9, like question 10, 20, 30, 40, have the O and the dot, but once again, they don't have any of the other text below it. So I don't think that this comes from any existing document in the game that I have seen. So that said, I think I have a number of rooms that I want to try to draft today, so I'm just going to get to it. Wish me luck. Well, secret passage into a red room will almost certainly get me the archives here in the middle, and this is one of the rooms that I need. It did not get me the archives. I was wrong. Here's the archives. Okay. So in here, there's a bunch of documents that allegedly may have changed. So I'm just going to make sure I have these well on the screen so that I can get screenshots. But then in post, I'll have to do some discovery about exactly what has changed in these documents to understand what might be important. But yeah, just kind of glancing on my own, I don't notice anything. Oh, and I guess I should definitely check on these as well. And so these documents, these documents might also have changed. And so I'll make sure I get some fresh screenshots of these guys too. Just at a quick glance, once again, I don't notice anything different there necessarily. And then what about the birth certificate? Over here, yeah, that looks pretty similar to me as well. Okay, well, I'll figure out what differences there are after the fact. I'm in the dormitory, and in the ceiling, there's a giant O, it's lit up from some light, or someone stained it, someone bleached the center, and there's a, that's pretty suspicious to me. I think I'll get a screenshot. Now that I've been examining wood, this is one of the closest looks I've gotten at the rowboat that's outside in the bottom left. And I don't see anything suspicious on any of the wood over there. Well, ironically, I randomly grabbed tunnel from an archived floor plan that I didn't realize I was going to get. I wanted one I've seen in someone else's playthrough, you can go to the side of the house and find something special. So I'll have to try drafting tunnel again another day. Oh, well, apparently I ran out of steps. I guess so. Oh, right, I had my experiment going. I thought I triggered all 10, but I guess I just triggered the 10th one. Alright, call it a day. I got some observatory stars at least. Did not find the mechanarium, which is what I was trying to do. Got a little bit screwy there on the UI. Yeah, it's still kind of screwy. I hope that I can... Let's just try to save and quit. I must have, like, pressed the button at the exact moment I ran out of steps, or I'm not sure what happened there, honestly. Day 226. I decided to restart the game just to make sure that any bugs that happened from before should be all cleared out, hopefully. I still need to get the shelter, the mechanarium, and ideally the tunnels so I can tunnel to the end of the house. So I'm going to keep on drafting. Well, here is the shelter. So that is great. And, I mean, I guess there's like one document in here, but it could be something related to the emails or things in the computer as well. So I'll take a look at that too. The document... I think this has changed. Remember, we are now, given the red guards due tomorrow, we've agreed to your plan of disabled remote access to the other terminals and sealed the network mainframe. Regardless of the danger, I'm still not willing to risk removing shelter from the draft pool while the three of you are down there. Our best bet is to sit tight and hope for a little bit of luck. Actually, that might not have changed. I feel like it might have changed. I'm not sure. In this room, the painting looks the same. Canned veggies and soup look the same, I imagine. The letter hadn't occurred to me. This might have changed somehow because she talks about how many years ago Mary's disappearance was. And I think that's on the next page. In September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing. I don't know that that has changed. And I don't immediately recognize anything here that has changed. Once again, I'll review all the potential differences to myself between episodes. But let's see, the time lock's safe. Like, I can't imagine that there's anything here that would be different. And it's already been opened. Radiation monitor. 12 microsieverts. Yeah, we know how that works. I haven't done any experiments today. And I guess if I log into the network, can I read emails on this computer, I think? Yeah, electronic mail. So let me take a look at all of these. And it's best to read them from bottom to top so that they're in order. But that one seems the same at a glance. This one, with 4 of us. Yeah, and it talks about 3 of them, and then it seems like 2 of them end up staying in the same safe house, so I'm still a little confused about that. But so far I've not noticed anything in particular that's different on these. Taking a boat ride shortly. The Red Guard is coming tomorrow. Too risky, hang tight for now. Yeah, that all seems the same. Okay, well, hopefully among all of that, I will have discovered what has changed. And I am, of course, looking at every wood grain plank on every step as I go back up the stairs. It's not particularly important, but when you draft the conservatory down here, you get lots of windows, and you can really appreciate that you can see, like, Mount Holly out there. And even out this window, you can even see the West Outer Grounds, and I can see, like, the doorway open to, like, the shelter over there. So I appreciate the detail that goes into what you view out the windows from different perspectives. Also, it lists in the conservatory that the master bedroom is only available on the east wing, and I've definitely seen it along the top of rank 9, both in the centers of the house as well as even on the left side center, and so This is not completely correct, and I'm not sure why that is. And just to make sure I'm not lying, I'm looking back through the house history. There's day 88, there's a master bedroom on the actual east wing. Day 99, there is the master bedroom on rank 9, not on the wing. That said, I did not spy it on the actual west side of the house, so maybe I'm making that up. So I have the Curse of Blackbridge, and I wanted to point something out in this book. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was likely very old and not created by Iridian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. So the old world, we have Vera, we have Kororika, and we have Morajai. And Morajai is the origin of puzzle boxes, which makes me think that the cursed box is some kind of puzzle box. And so when I was trying to do stuff solving symbols on the outside of the cursed box, like that might be an actual thing to do. And in this book we also get a picture of the box, and it is the same box. It's a little bit harder to see some of the symbols. I forget what this one was like. This one was like a semicircle with 2 lines. This one's the hand. This one kind of looks like a person with their arms raised or something. This one's a snake, I think, and this one is a bat somehow. I don't really see it here. But yeah, I feel like there's something going on there. The entire second half of the story, though, doesn't really feel like it has any useful information. Not sure what to think of that. I guess technically I haven't cataloged in the Mount Holly gift shop the fact that these are also hands pointing up. And I talked about how Baroness, in her photo in the attic, it looks like she's pointing down. In the maid's chamber, the picture of all the servants, Anne Babbage is seated in the middle. And I think it looks like she's pointed down as well. So I have a lot of rerolls. I feel like I ought to be able to draw the Mechanarium, which is the room I really want. So let's spend a bunch of rerolls trying to get it. Weight room, I've been trying to pull that out of the pool before, but it didn't seem to want to come my way. Oh, Mechanarium, where art thou? There's the Mechanarium, great. Okay, so in the Mechanarium, if I look up at the ceiling, doesn't that kind of look like an N surrounding the whole core as we watch these things spin around? I think that looks like an N. Yeah, and you have to be looking at the right moment in time to really be able to see it and appreciate it very well. And this is something that I only saw someone else point out in one of their streams. But since I've been looking for letters, that one seemed very important to find. And because it kind of doesn't matter, as I'm just drawing out pretty much the last room of the house, I guess I had one south of the courtyard that I didn't draw. Here is the T in the solarium. So there's definitely at least a few rooms that definitely have some letters in them. And I want to make sure I find them all. Yeah, and since I was just talking about it, here's the last room. Oh, right, it was another bedroom. I triggered my... well, it doesn't matter because it just gave me a gold or a gem or something. But in this photo, it's hard to see without the magnifying glass, but it looks like Anne is also pointed down. I might have talked about this a long time ago. I guess this photo also has some swirlies in the outer wood frame. But it looked like she was pointed down kind of in the direction where the Mila statue got taken from. This room ceiling is not particularly noteworthy. I've been looking in a lot of like closets and cubbies and different places at more wood grain, but nothing notable has popped out. But I'm taking my time. Here's something I hadn't noticed before about the Cinca sewing machine. The bottom left of the screen. Is there like a half moon symbol on a grid? Or what is that symbol that's just here on the top of the sewing machine? I'm not sure. That's another one I'll be interested to take a screenshot in and then kind of zoom in on and see if I get any better idea of what it is that I'm looking at. Fish, I'm not a big fan of fish. We'll skip eating it. So I'm going to go back to calling it the day in the break room. Actually, do I still have the Blessing of the Monk going on? I do. There are still rooms that I wanted to do the monk with. Let me take a look at my list. Stopped clock? Let's look at the inside wood grain. I just called the elevator and it occurred to me only after I'd already called it. When it's coming down, I should try looking at the base of it. I guess I would have been able to see that when it was first raised. Yeah, the very first time I came into the foundation, if there had been something printed on the bottom of that, I probably would have already seen it. In any case, the rumpus room, I wanted to see if I draft outside, like if Alzara maybe is going to talk to me or something. So let's use the Blessing of the Monk to call it a day here. And I'll grab my allowance and we'll go outside and draft this room and see if there's any chance that we can talk to Alzara or anything interesting is happening out there. We had another garden jigsaw house today. And I haven't done it in a while, but for good luck, let's make a wish. It's not going to matter because I'll Alt F4 out of this day shortly, but let's check out what we have in the Outer Grounds Rumpus Room. And I'm also curious, if I look back at the corner of the house here, yeah, it's totally the case that if you're in that corner and you look out the window the right way, you can just like see the doorway out here. So that's another way that you could discover that there's going to be something interesting on the Outer Grounds. Hadn't appreciated all the outdoor sight lines previously. This piece of wood, by the way, does not have anything interesting on it, as far as I can tell. Oh, Outer Grounds Rumpus Room. What do you got for me? Well, for one, we just got blocked off wood over there. The fish still does not want to sing me a tune. The money is still available, so I didn't need to pick up my allowance to make sure I had money to try to pay for the Alzara machine. Alzara! I would like to talk to you again. I want to know what I can do to make your prophecy come true and make all right with the world. Although at this point I have my doubts about whether or not that's actually a thing that's going to happen, and that makes me sad. Is there wood inside here that I have not inspected before? So long as we're back here in the rumpus room. Yeah, I don't know that I'm seeing anything new in here. So this appears to be just the same old, same old. Alright, fair enough. We gave it a try. I have a feeling this will end up being a bit of a shorter episode, but I did manage to get a number of things checked off my list. Before the next episode, I will review the documents in the archives and the shelter that we saw today and compare them with prior screenshots that I might have taken before certain patches hit to see any discrepancies, and then after that I'll be able to rework my timeline, and perhaps we can have an episode where we go over the timeline together. But yeah, I think that'll be it for today. It's hard to see the darkness in here, the wood grain on the ceiling of this room. In the spare servants' quarters, there was also a little bit of interesting. It just looked like the white ceiling had been kind of like painted and whitewashed with some swirls and different things. I didn't even bother to call it out or take a screenshot of it because it didn't seem like it could possibly be important. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm going to say I hope as always that you all are having a great day, and I will see you again soon for more Blueprints, where who knows what I'll be doing for the next few episodes. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.